If I Stay meets your name in this heartfelt novel about love, loss, and what it means to say goodbye. Hi, my name's Spencer. Welcome to Sphynx Reads. Today, I'll be reviewing You've Reached Sam by Dustin Thao. You've Reached Sam is the debut novel of author Dustin Thao, and this is coming out in November 2, so that's coming pretty soon, so make sure to check it out. This is a YA magical realism story. The general premise of our story is it follows our main character named Julie, who is grieving the loss of her boyfriend Sam. I'm going to read the blurb to you first and foremost, and then I'll get on to my thoughts. So the blurb goes, heartbroken, Julie skips his funeral, we're referring to Sam, throws out his things and tries everything to forget him and the tragic way he died. But a message Sam left behind her yearbook forces back memories. Desperate to hear his voice one more time, Julie calls Sam's cell phone just to listen to his voicemail. And then Sam picks up his phone. In a miraculous turn of events, Julie's been given a second chance at goodbye. The connection is temporary, but hearing Sam's voice makes her fall for him all over again. And with each call, it becomes harder to let him go. However, keeping her otherworldly calls with Sam a secret isn't easy, especially when Julie witnesses the suffering Sam's family is going through. Unable to stand by the sidelines and watch their shared loved ones in pain, Julie is torn between spilling the truth about her calls with Sam and risking their connection and losing him forever. So I received an e-arc of this book by NetGalley, so thank you NetGalley for providing me with that opportunity. My general rating for this book is 4.5 on Storygraph and 5 stars on Goodreads. I feel like this book accomplished what it set out to do, which can be summarized into the phrase just make you feel things. Since we are following a main character kind of dealing with her grief, the story does kind of lean heavily on the topic of grief. And I really like that because that's what you kind of expect from the blurb, and so I guess that's just me saying that what you get from the blurb is what you're going to get from the book. I also want to point out that this is a magnificent cover. I don't know who the cover artist is, but they did such an amazing job, so kudos to you, whoever you are. Also, in terms of the actual book, I really love Dustin Thao's writing. The prose is very poignant, very atmospheric, it just kind of surrounds you and it's in all its beautifulness. It's really very impressive, and I'm really excited to read more from Dustin Thao in the future. I know this is only his debut novel, but I hope that he continues to write more stories. As for my general feelings on the book though, I did get emotional, but the story didn't hit as hard as I was expecting it to. There were so many moments that I was on the verge of crying, but it just didn't take me there. I didn't get to that point, you know? So in some ways, I was a little bit dissatisfied and disappointed. I think part of it is you just have to be in a very specific mood to fully appreciate this book. I think this is one of those books that you would read whenever you're sad just to feel more sad, if that makes sense. Like if I felt particularly moody when I read this, I feel like I would have loved this book so much more. Another thing that I didn't really like about this book is I didn't like how inconsistent and unclear some of the rules of the magic were. All throughout the book, the rules were never really clear, they were never really set in stone, so you have really no idea how high or how low the stakes are. I know this isn't like a fantasy book, this is magical realism, so it leans more into the contemporary side of things than the magical elements, but I still felt that it needed a little bit more structure and needed, I guess, more boundaries in terms of how the magical elements work. The way I would describe it is how the magic worked was plot-driven, instead of the plot revolving around the magic, if that makes sense. Like the magic was used in order to manipulate the plot. Or as I said earlier, just to make you feel things. There were also a lot of cliches, but I personally didn't mind them because I feel like they did achieve what they were trying to do, which is to evoke emotions in the reader, to evoke nostalgia in some instances. One thing that I feel like might be a hiccup for some readers in terms of like their appreciation of this book are the number of song references in this story. All throughout the book, there's like references to songs, sometimes like flat out the lyrics are also on the page. I only knew one of the songs, and the rest I was just like completely clueless about. And I didn't really bother looking up these songs or listening to them, so those parts didn't really have an emotional impact on me. Kind of going along with what I said earlier with needing to be in a very specific mood to appreciate this book, I do feel like in order to really appreciate this book for what it is, I think it would be good to listen to the songs that are being referenced because I think that's part of the immersive experience of the book. I listened to one of the songs that was there like after I read the book, and I was like, man, this reminds me of the book now, and I feel like if I listened to all of those songs that were referenced, I would have enjoyed it more and felt more moody, I guess. I know that's a lot of negatives, but honestly, I did not hate this book. I really liked it. I mean, I rated it 4.5 stars. It still was a very emotional read. I loved all of our characters. Although I feel like I liked our main character the least. The rest of the characters, like the supporting cast, were so awesome. They're so nice. I love a character named Oliver in particular. And then there's this other guy, I think that who is a co-worker of the main character. I forgot his name, I'm so sorry. But yeah, if anything, since this is a debut novel, I feel like I just had kind of like tempered my expectations a little bit, although this has been hyped by so many people already. If anything, I feel like what this book accomplished is it made me feel excited for more of Dustin Thao's work, so I really hope to see more of Dustin Thao's writing because it's just really immersive and really I just love the feeling that I get from reading Dustin Thao's work. I can't really compare it to anyone else that I've read because it's so unique and so it's just overall satisfying. I don't even know how to describe it. So that is my review for You've Reached Sam by Dustin Thao. Again, this book comes out November 2nd this year, 2021, so I hope you guys check it out. I know I said a lot of negative things already, but I think I'm just trying to temper expectations a little bit, but if you still have high hopes for this book, expect that this book will still impress you. I feel like some people would say that they would have appreciated it more when they were younger. I feel like it can really affect anyone who has ever experienced grief or who has ever been moved by stories about grief. That is it for my review. I think I already said this earlier, but if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up and let me know down in the comments if you've already read You've Reached Sam, what you thought of it, and if you haven't, if you think you're going to pick it up or if you have any questions about this story. Please forget to subscribe so that you can do it later and have a good day.